Yo. A little bit of a delay. Dropped my phone.
Right.
Smashed it.
We're good. Smash
Smash and crash. Smash and dash.
No. No.
All right. Whatever. Just fuck off.
Yeah. Just do that for us. Is it recording?
Yeah. Make sure it doesn't turn off this time.
Yeah.
It's your one job.
Then we're good.
All right. All right.
All right, boys. It is currently April the 21st, 2020. Welcome back for people that are returning, and welcome new people that are tuning in for the first time.
Yeah.
This is the Common Ground Podcast. I'm Adam Trevino. This is Elijah Rodriguez.
It's me.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We're going to talk about happiness today.
Happiness.
How to measure happiness, what it means for us, what it means for you, how to kind of just determine where you're at in terms of your own happiness and what you can do to kind of do that and make that for yourself. There's a lot to talk about in terms of happiness because it's such a subjective thing, I think. Lots of people experience happiness very, very differently. So depending on how we look at it and how we approach happiness and what we think about what happiness is.
Happiness really is.
As a whole, can really be a different kind of subjective thing for a lot of people. But I want to first start off by saying that happiness, for me, I think is more of a long-term thing than it is like really short-term. Of course, there's sometimes
what do you mean?
But I'm saying like.
Are you getting there?
I'm gonna get there. Yes.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is like happiness should be something that I'm striving for every single day, rather than just really, really small moments in my life.
Right.
And that whenever I think of happiness, the forefront of happiness for me is like that long-term game. Mm-hmm. It's just a long-term feeling of happiness rather than just small amounts of happiness here and there. So I'll start off by just saying that, happiness is just something that I strive for and hope to have for long periods of time in my life, and extending that part of happiness my entire life rather than just in small moments.
Right.
I focus on the long term,
like short-term pleasures rather than
exactly. So
I mean, I think I don't think you can measure it. I don't think there's a way to measure it.
No.
I think it's one of those things, and I've kind of taken this from that Joe Rogan thing was too, but it makes sense. Like, it kind of comes and goes. It's always going to be there, and every day is going to be different. Like, some days you're going to feel better than others. Just how that's just life.
It's the way it's going to go.
It's impossible for a human to be happy 99% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. So
right.
I don't know, man. I feel like happiness can't be measured.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be.
I think there's abilities to somewhat.
But there are ways to maximize it.
Yeah, but I think there's some ways that you can kind of get an idea of where you kind of sit in terms of happiness.
So that you want to
overall
let me explain that thing that guy said? Maybe that's one way we could maybe.
Sure.
So I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast, and he has Jesse Itzler on there.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesse Itzler's an entrepreneur. He built some, I don't know, 2-3 companies or something like that. I really don't know his specifics.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason they came on the topic of happiness and how you can achieve it. And hence when Joe Rogan says, I don't think you can measure it, blah, blah, blah. And then the guy says, well, I have this theory. And he's like, there's this, and he gave the speech at some convention, a business convention. And he said, this is how you can measure happiness. He goes, if you just had a blender and you threw every aspect of your life into it, and you blended it all up, and you gave yourself a score of 10, and you started thinking about all the things that make you happy, and as well as the things that don't make you happy, and you start at 10, and you can start knocking everything that makes you not happy, you knock off your score.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And at the end of the day, which is kind of a scary statistic, he said when he asked the audience how many people were at 7 or less, he said a majority of the group stood up.
Yeah,
which is not good.
Yeah, 7. Basically,
7
looking at it on a grade scale average.
Yeah, 7.
People had less than basically
a passing grade.
Yeah, less than a passing grade in terms
people
of the amount of things that
majorly unhappy in the United States.
Right.
Which can come from a variety of things, and I think that what I really liked about that idea, or that whatever you want to call it, test, is the fact that it can easily show you the negative parts of your life,
mm-hmm.
and what you should eliminate to get to your happiness, whatever that is for you.
So I don't think it I don't think it really dials in the exact amount of happiness, but it gives you a good idea.
It's a good idea. Just to think. It's a little exercise you could do.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a good exercise you can do. Also, I mean, you can go online and answer like questionnaires. And,
I think you got to find that. You can do all these questionnaires
Yeah.
and quizzes till you're blue in the face, but it comes from like what you really want. Like everyone knows what they want to make them happy. You know.
Yeah.
Whether you want to admit that or face that, different story.
Right.
I think.
For me, first thing I think about when it comes to happiness for me, and we're both gonna talk about like what makes us happy, and for me, I feel like reducing the amount of stress I have in my life, but also really prioritizing things I want to do.
Yeah.
And prioritizing it to where I'm not only doing things that I enjoy doing, but also giving myself the freedom and time to do other things that don't necessarily pertain to work. So I really like to maximize my time in terms of creating like a schedule for myself and doing things that are work based, but ultimately things that I enjoy. So like obviously fitness stuff, since I'm a strength coach, working on the podcast and things of that nature. So just keeping my stress levels down ultimately is a major
that's
part.
a huge topic you can really talk about in its own, stress, because that shit'll kill you.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. I think, for me, it's always just really been about stress, because if I start putting too many things on my plate, I tend to get really unhappy.
Everyone.
And I get really, but I think that's like the major forefront of things that make me enjoy life or don't. Because if I'm extremely stressed out on a whole bunch of things, and it can be fitness related stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm extremely stressed out with that sort of thing, I won't be happy. No. I can tell you right now that it's just, regardless of it being fitness based stuff or podcasting type stuff, and it's overwhelming, I won't like it. Yeah. And I won't be happy, and I won't have basically time to do stuff on my own, or like freedom, just a freedom aspect. Like I don't mind putting in work and doing those sorts of things, but like within a relatively routinely scheduled point of time throughout the day.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can agree with that. Absolutely. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's such a hard thing to grasp, especially because, I mean, everyone's going to find happiness in different things.
Right.
I mean, it's tough. I mean, I think one thing you limit is, like, you have to be real honest, and a lot of people don't want to, because a lot of people, like, significant others is a big one. Mm-hmm. They enjoy being around a significant other, but, like, that drags you down.
Right.
And I'm not saying everybody's significant other is going to drag you down, but that's a big key, is, like, you know, who you surround yourself with. If you're surrounded by negative people, like, you're gonna be negative. Yeah. It's gonna have a toll on your happiness and your well-being. Yeah. Always will be.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to give those people up. Like, you have to. If you really want to like grow, like, you have to get rid of those people and let them fix themselves. Yeah. It's just, that's a big one.
If you're around happy people, you're generally gonna be happier.
If you're around people that bitch and complain all day, you're gonna start bitching and complaining,
about a whole bunch of stuff.
Piss you off.
Yeah. It's just surrounding yourself or putting yourself in an environment that creates positivity ultimately is a huge thing. Yeah. I think even with like family members, you know, friendships, relationships,
and that's some hard shit to do. Like, you don't want to give up those
and people. Not everybody is extremely positive.
No.
So yeah, even like it's like you're saying, it's hard to give up like those sorts of relationships with people, especially people that you love, and our family members. But sometimes it requires that huge step back to kind of to put yourself and ground yourself in a position to like wake up and realize like these people are not supposed to be around me, and I don't need them around me to be happy.
I think that's something that I've kind of done that for a long time, though. I've really managed the people that I surround myself with.
Yeah,
I really have. Yeah. I mean, there's just certain things, like even when I play baseball, there's like guys that are cool.
There's certain groups and stuff.
Yeah, there's groups, but it's like, you know, you see the guys that are like working and they're like generally good dudes, and you see the guys that are cool and they're fun to talk to, but like you leave it at that, because they're just like stuff you don't want to you don't want to be around that kind of stuff.
Right.
Regardless of what they're putting themselves into or like the way they behave, like it's cool sometimes, but you don't want to like fully throw yourself into that mindset, and that's kind of like what I've done a lot with people. You know, I've kept you around. Yeah. Like you're generally a good man to be around, and I enjoy being around you, as well as other people that I talk to and stuff like that. But
or else you probably wouldn't be doing this podcast either.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, obviously, but I mean, it's just something you need to do, and it starts with that. That's a start, and then you can kind of evolve that to the rest of your mindset in your life. Basically, I think that all leads to happiness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pseudo happiness, if you will.
I do also think that, and we talk about this a lot too, is this overall societal issues when it comes to how it affects the way
false realities
approach your life and what you think should be at the forefront of your life. So, for instance, I've been going over some statistics in terms of the people that are happy and are unhappy, and if you really dive in deep with different countries and things of that nature, we were watching the video earlier with Denmark and Finland being like those happiest of countries, and the United States being not so happy. And if you really, really start diving deep, I mean, there's this whole bunch of different societal issues that can be associated with that, but every single one that's typically common, or the commonality of
Money.
the unhappiness in the United States is money. Financial issues or problems, or keeping money or financials at the forefront of everything that you're basically doing.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, you think about like people idolize having cars, having houses, having clothes, shoes,
and
those sorts
I
of
firmly
things.
believe, I heard Gary Vee say this a long time ago, I firmly believe, like, if you're chasing something like an object,
Like physicality,
like a house or like a car or
Yeah.
fucking watch,
People are going to become happy.
you're not gonna
Big
that's
time.
not gonna solve your happiness, bro.
Yep.
Like, oh my god, you have a watch on your wrist that tells time as everybody else's, but it's cost $30,000. It's like, wow, I'm okay.
People expect to live up to a certain trend too. In the
Yeah.
United States, like the United States is very trendy. It's a very trendy nation or
Like social
country.
media, it was already trendy, and then social media kicked it up 30 notches.
Oh man, yeah, it's extremely trendy, and people want to fit in, and people want to have certain things to look like they're just part of like this group of people.
Yeah.
And if they're all of a sudden not accepted by those sorts of people, they feel like they're just the crazy ones, or people are going to look at that person as being like a crazy one, or
No, it's like
an odd person out.
It's like people like that go on social media and like they see all, and it really comes from celebrities and like status.
Mm-hmm.
And like every normal, and this is kind of weird, a weird outline or outlook, I guess. It's like everyone sees these celebrities, and you go to see these like people at like the red carpet events or like the
Right.
award shows, and they look like $1 million because they
Yeah.
have that kind of thing. And it's like every normal American, they idolize those people, and they can say to their blue in the face, "Oh fuck that guy, dude, that guy's trash." But like in your head, you're sitting there looking at this guy like, "Damn, I wish I was." You wish you were that guy.
Yeah.
And you try your best to
Like
emulate
Dan
that.
Bilzerian.
Yeah, man. And you know how many dudes probably sit there and like,
Oh,
I'm gonna live that
man.
life.
Yeah.
Can't. That's a 1 in a million shot. Bro.
Yeah. But you see his face plastered everywhere, so you just think, oh my god, this is what
He's
happiness
so
is.
awesome.
This is what it needs to be. This is what I need to
It's
have.
impossible. I mean,
And-
it's just not real, bro. That's
Yeah.
a once in.
It's not impossible.
That's
but
not
obviously,
impossible,
but
man. But like, I don't
Yeah.
think, and this is just my take. I think that he puts that show up. That's part of his persona.
That's the persona, absolutely.
I don't believe
No
he's like that
question.
98%.
It gives him
100% of the
views, and
time.
it gives him.
Content. It makes him. It's his brand. It's his
Mhm.
business.
Yep.
He's not like that all the time. I know. No one can do that 24/7.
No.
Keep that up. It's impossible.
No. Yeah.
You're a human being unless you're just drugged up on God knows what, and you're just going 100 miles an hour all the time.
But even
Like,
then, like even at the forefront of that, like he still has, like work to do.
yes.
You know what I mean? So.
I mean, he runs companies.
Yeah. So
Or
like
built his own company.
it's going to be a lot of
It's a lot of give and take.
you see the surface of you see like basically just the top part of everything that's going on and not the actual
Right. So
surface.
to back to my point was like everyone in America wants to be that,
Yeah.
and they do dumb shit to try to make themselves look like they're living that life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, number one, you're probably putting yourself in debt,
Yeah.
or you're just seeing it so skewed.
Right.
It's so off. Like I know a buddy of mine who keeps buying the dumbest shit,
Mm-hmm.
and no one really knows why.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you like? You're just buying shit and buying shit and buying shit and buying shit, and and you know the guy, so it's like that's not even making you remotely close to being happy.
I also think like
Why do you continue to do it?
if you struggle with happiness and you struggle with relationships with people, you're going to go out and continue to buy things or buy certain things because it gives you that quick feeling of happiness.
It's kind of connected to the phone thing I was telling you about earlier. Like every time your notification comes up, somebody liked your picture. Or
Yeah,
like
yeah,
messaged
exactly.
you, or like
It's just like that quick feeling of happiness. Like,
it's a
holy
hit of-
shit.
It's
I'm-
dopamine. It goes to your head. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, you feel wanted. You
You
feel
feel
happy.
wanted, exactly.
It's the same reason why if you post a picture and no one likes it, you
You're
feel
gonna feel like
sad. And it's like, but like,
In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter.
but when you really, I got into this, a while back. Was like, dude, this is just an app on your fucking phone, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's causing so much pull.
Yeah.
And sure, people make careers off this, but like for us normal everyday guys, like
Mm-hmm.
or people, especially girls, like I hate the fact that people post pictures, doesn't get enough likes, they take it off.
Yeah.
Because that's just showing that you're giving two shits about what everyone else thinks. And no
Mhm.
one double clicked your picture.
Yeah.
You're gonna take it off. When you posted that picture, you thought it was cool. Like, oh, I really look good in
It's
this
the same
picture.
reason why like young girls and all that sort of stuff kind of post pictures that are like kind of provocative.
Yeah,
in a way, because they know it's gonna get
and
views.
it's kind of
and
I've
likes.
seen it for the younger generation. I've never done that.
Yeah. I mean, you're a dude, but
I know, but it's
you know
like
what I mean?
posting a picture and then like 3 or 4 hours later noticing that it didn't get 300 likes. You're like, fuck, I gotta take this down.
Yeah, this
No
is
one
trash.
liked
No
it.
one liked it.
What the hell?
Yeah.
That's so stupid. You posted because you thought it was cool. Fuck what everybody else thinks.
Yeah.
And I think and I heard that Instagram was gonna get rid of likes a while ago, and they never did, which I'm kind of pissed because I really would have liked to see if it changes anything.
You probably would have big time, because
really
I think
would.
people see likes or see those things and they're like, you know, if they see like a whole bunch of likes on this dude's picture, she'll be like, this guy's cool. I need to be like
Yeah.
him. And I bet if I'm like him, I'll get likes.
I'll get likes, and people will start following me, and it's like, damn, that's
Exactly.
fake, man.
Yeah, and it's not
It's
it's
not
a
real.
false reality.
Yeah.
Really. It's unfortunate, but it happens all the time. It happens all the time.
More often than not, and that's kind of how like I think that the foundation is built, bro. Like
Mhm.
and that's how kids are kind of being raised these days, and that's why depression's so high.
Yeah.
And like,
And it's honestly, that's the same reason why we talk about things that we enjoy. More so than
that was kind of the thing we said, man. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna talk about shit that we want to talk about, no matter what anyone else thinks.
yeah. I think it's different if you like want to try to spread like your viewership, and you're trying to like spread your word out to other people and just try to see what other people think, more so than seeing if every single person likes your content. Because I know, and we know, if we talk about this stuff, not everyone's gonna like our content, and we knew from the beginning that
yeah,
we didn't fucking care.
yeah.
So when we started this, it wasn't so much like we got to make sure everybody fucking likes this shit. Like we got to make sure this is it. Like
Yeah,
that wasn't our
goal.
our goal
Here was not to be like, we got to get big, rich, and famous.
No,
Yeah,
not
we're
at
gonna
all.
make it big. Like, no,
we enjoy talking about these things, and there's
Yeah.
like things that are running through our mind. And honestly, for me, like when I talk about these things, I'm curious to see if other people either know it
Mhm.
or they don't.
Yeah.
And if based off of that, I want to see like how they are able to interact with us to see what kind of extra tips or goals or things that they can kind of chip in
Yeah,
with our
man.
conversations to see
'Cause
like,
there's
oh,
stuff
this
that-
is like some of the stuff I do, or
Yeah.
this is some of the shit I do that makes me happy. And you know I was doing this, like, or just hearing like success stories or something like that, like, oh, a year ago, like, man, I was posting like, you know, really provocative photos of myself, and I just wanted likes. And I'm glad I came across like your podcast and we're talking about
You
these
know-
things, because it opens up my eyes to someone that's kind of like me in my situation.
You know what's wild, bro? Is like, even like when we first started working out, like a couple like months ago, before all
Mhm.
coronavirus stuff hit, I was posting all these pictures, and like they were like legit. I had to come to terms, and I told you, like, I was just posting shit to be a douche or attention grabbing posts,
Yeah.
just to get likes. And it's like you have to like, I had to stop and like look at my shit and be like, wow, this is super douchey.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
more
it was
important to
just
kind of just
stupid.
like make your post and you want to try to add value. to
Right,
just
or like something
someone,
that's funny.
to
Like
anybody.
I posted that picture of my arm today.
Yeah.
Like, it's just funny, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you just stop caring because it just doesn't matter anymore, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you just stop giving it. Like, I think that what you give your attention to will also bring in your happiness. Like, if
Right.
you give so much attention to these people liking your pictures rather than just like, damn, this is funny, I want to post it. Like, I don't fucking care because it's just hilarious to me.
Yeah.
It's two completely different avenues.
Yeah, I do also think like if you do run like a business and you are trying to like get viewership and attention and that sort of stuff, like that's completely different.
Yeah, I mean,
I
that's
do think
different.
like if you're just a standard human being and you're just there for likes and that's it, like that's a more of a bigger issue at stake than opposed to like a business trying to market their whatever they're doing, you know.
Yeah.
Like for me, like for fitness, like if I'm marketing for fitness related content,
Oh, yeah, I mean,
obviously
it's
I'm going to try to
different.
appeal to more people and try to get attention in terms of
Yeah.
the amount of viewership and basically value I'm trying to add,
Yeah.
you know, for people that are trying to
But
get
see, I
into
think
fitness.
that goes into a completely different
It's
realm
yeah, it's
because
that's
like
it's two
business.
different sort of things. So
Like for me, like I took that, I stopped caring so much, and I kind of made it just like a just for me kind of deal. Like,
Mhm.
I'm just gonna post whatever
yeah,
comes to my mind,
and that's fine.
yeah. Or
that's-
mostly it's to promote the podcast, man, because I'm pretty proud of this. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So I mean, that's kind of what I
exactly.
use it for, but like nothing too serious.
hmm
So I mean, I think that's big. A lot of people try to emulate famous people or like try to be trendy, and like
Yeah.
you see it all the fucking
Yeah.
time, bro.
and then just trying to uphold that lifestyle makes
You
people
can't.
unhappy.
You can't, and that kind of goes back to like the 9 to 5 thing. It kind of all just like rotates within itself because it's like
Mhm.
if you're trying to live this lifestyle, it's not actually accurate. Like it's not true.
Yeah,
And you start putting yourself in predicaments and spots to be like,
Mhm.
well, if I got to do this because I needed the money, or if I spent too much money last week and I have to do this now, or have to sell X, and you're just like in this never-ending spiral of shit,
yeah,
trying to make it seem to the public that you're living this fantastic lifestyle.
right. You're gonna
But,
get
like,
trapped.
but then you're trapped. Number one, Number two, you're just like, your mental health is probably spinning out of control. Because I literally was in there. I know exactly what it feels like. Your mind's just going all the way because you're spending money here. You're not doing this when you should be doing that. You're neglecting parts that shouldn't be neglected.
And it snowballs and it just rolls into this big shit show. Yeah, stuff. It's just like this big freaking thing that just like continues to pile on in itself, and you dive deeper into a hole, and that hole continues to be filled, and you just can't get out of it. It just sucks. And we've both been there. Like we both kind of experienced, like, obviously on different levels or different experiences of stuff, but like I'm sure everyone experiences that, and that's just a part of growth, honestly. Like if you're able to dive out of that hole or get out of the hole that you're in because of all that sort of stuff, like, you're learning. And we're here to like bring awareness to that because we've been in that situation. And that's not even to say that we've completely gotten out of it. You know, we're still trying to figure things out, and there's still problems and issues that we face daily that you know, we're trying to figure out whether or not it's going to make us happy or not. And sometimes we kind of slip and make a mistake or whatever, but ultimately, like, I feel like on percentage wise, like, we've been able to kind of like get out of that rut for the most part. And but even though we're not perfect on it,
this is kind of like a cliche thing, but like, do you truly believe that money can't buy happiness? I know we kind of maybe touched on it a couple episodes ago, but like, do you really believe that?
I don't think money...
After looking at that video we watched about the people that are happiest without, because they don't have the whole money structure, like all that stuff, do you really believe that that's a true
I don't think money at its core makes you happy, but it does lead to living a more comfortable life, which can in turn bring some sort of happiness, but not all of it. So I, like, for instance, when we talk about these countries and those things, like, we talk about those countries that have basically a layer of things that basically make them happy, right? So I think if you were to put money as this sole forefront thing that just is the root cause of everyone's happiness, then you're going to have a problem. On the flip side, I think personally, like, if you were to balance everything out, have, you know, comfort with money and having comfort with your relationships and relationships with friends, family, and support groups and all that sort of stuff, like, all those things combined, that's what brings happiness. Not money at the forefront of everything being the sole source of happiness.
I think, and, you know, I've been reading that book, what do you call it, The 7 Laws of Spiritual Success. I kind of periodically read it. I kind of go through it. It's really short, so I kind of go through it.
You read
a
like
lot.
Short stories and stuff.
Yeah, I read it. I've been doing lately, I've been reading a chapter every morning when I wake up.
I'm
just gonna keep doing that because, like, they're just such good, like, things
mental
to start
tips.
your day with. Man. So, like, the idea that, you know, if you're going about this world just for the sake of money, like, you're gonna be hindered. That's just how it works. Because if you're never gonna find your pure potential, because you're just gonna be hindered by the fact that I'm just going after this cash, money all day long. And, like, for me, and, like, you know, and I say this a lot. This is kind of deep, but, like, my family, we had a lot of money at one point, and then we didn't have any money at one point. So I've seen it, and my brother and my sister haven't seen this. I kind of see this a little differently than they do because I was a little bit older. But, like, we had a lot of money, so really quickly having not a lot of money. Like, our lifestyles changed. I mean, from flying to New York every day to, like, you selling all your cars because you got to do something different because, like, you legit do not have that money anymore. So it changed, and I think that looking back as I was, like I said, I was older, so I looked back at my parents and I looked back at the way our life was, and it's like, dude, like, we had all this stuff, all this shit, and I don't think anybody was truly happy. Honestly, like, honestly, I think our family legitimately got closer without the money, and we all kind of came together more or less. But, like, we were all, like, I think we were all strung out, man, on just, like, all this bullshit because we all had so much stuff, and, like, you were living this lifestyle, and it was like, but when you don't have it all, like, I think you're more in touch with, like, who you really are. You kind of finally see shit how they like really
and what
are.
You want to become.
And like sadly, but, like, my parents got divorced. Like, shit changed so fast. Because, like, that's all fake. I don't think that's real. I think, like, what's at the core is, like, who you really are, and, like, money can't bring that to you, no matter how much you have of it. It's real. I firmly believe that. It's like my life, and, like, I feel, like, ashamed that, like, I knew that. And as I got older, I still went into that thing where I was trying to impress people with money and this. Like, I should have already learned it. Because, like, I truly, like, with the bottom of my heart, believe money does not buy you any happiness. Because, and it's the same concept, man. Like, people, like, can have as much money as they want and be lonely as fuck and be
Right.
so depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And they have millions
They can have
of
everything
dollars
they
in
want in
the
the
bank,
world.
cars, house, whatever, and it's just
Physical,
not
yeah.
fucking real. You're just
Yeah.
missing shit.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some stuff that like I'm not like gonna get all like lovey-dovey, but like true love, bro, you can't buy that with cash.
Yeah.
You can't buy that.
Yeah.
You can't buy your best friends with cash. You can buy friends with cash and keep
Yeah.
bringing them around, but they're not gonna really be your friend. They're gonna be there for the benefit that you're giving them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just really there's shit. So like I don't believe that money can buy anything rather than material. I think you're gonna have to have some.
Yeah.
But I really think that that's why the most happiest middle like American people are the people that make $40,000 to $60,000 a person, and they're the happiest people they are,
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
they just don't care, and they're
Even,
happy
like-
with like what's going on right now.
Even like amongst like Hispanic culture, like
Yeah,
being
man.
Hispanic, like
Yeah.
people like most Hispanic people aren't known for having a whole shit ton of money,
Yeah, dude.
yet they're the happiest people ever.
God, dude.
And
I know.
they enjoy their lives.
I know a lot of families that I grew up with that didn't have, and it kind of like pisses me off, like looking back, because like there were always those families that didn't have a whole lot. Like, not I'm saying they were poor or anything,
Mm-hmm.
but like they were just they were just average people,
Middle class.
but they were fucking happy.
Yeah.
They weren't driving around in Mercedes and
Mhm.
Lexus and Range Rover, but they drove practical lives and they were fucking happy.
Yeah.
Like, what else? And it's just like being like true to yourself, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's what you're accustomed to, I think.
I also think it's just like based on the way you were raised.
True.
So if you're just taught, not only like through social media and
Beyond
ads
it,
and stuff.
I think like the younger generation are getting raised way different than me and you were.
Oh, that happens with
Absolutely.
every single generation.
Oh, I mean,
Every
it's gonna
single
keep
generation
changing. It's gonna keep changing. Yeah.
But I think at the root core of everything, like if you're raised this particular way and you're taught like you're supposed to have a certain amount of stuff or certain things to be happy, you can constantly think that's how you have to be happy,
Yeah.
and that's what you need, and
Yeah.
that's it. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
if you have a degree, and you have, that's why I think kids our age, and I say kids because we're still young,
Yeah.
like 24-year-old people, they go out and buy their car right when they get their paycheck or their job right away, and they think, wow, holy shit, I've got my car, I'm successful, that means
I bought
I'm
a car.
happy.
Big girl purchase. I bought a
I'm
car.
happy.
Big kid. Oh my god, my first big boy purchase. I bought
Yeah.
a fucking truck. Like, what the fuck are you
Or
talking
like-
about?
Or like when someone buys a house, you see a whole crap ton of likes, they have the house, and
Because that's what people envision as, holy shit, they bought a house. They got their shit together.
they got their shit together. One, they're happy, they got their house.
Oh yeah, because
and
it's always
that's
the
it.
picture. No
And
one's
that's the
buying a
forefront
house
of
and they're
everything.
like this.
Right.
It's always smiling. Oh my god, give me the key. I bought a house.
Yep, exactly. Like that's a major
It's a flaw.
accomplishment thing to be happy. Is to just buy
honestly,
a house.
until like this year, probably I would see shit like that and be like, what the fuck am I like? What am I doing? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
What am I doing? Am I screwing something up somewhere?
Right.
Like,
And no, that's not the case.
yeah,
Like,
man.
and that's also part of even putting yourself in a position to not like, compare yourself to other people. Because I think once you start comparing yourself to other people, that'll really, really lead
Well, that's
to
a bad road to go
huge.
down.
And that doesn't even mean like you were talking about earlier, like idolizing like celebrities and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like even comparing yourself to your friends
Yeah.
and what they're doing and what kind of jobs they're doing and what kind of things they're buying. Like,
Well, see, like, okay, let me talk. So when I said that, I think there's a good thing behind that, because you can have somebody be your role model that's like rich and famous. I mean, you're not
right.
gonna go put a
Oh
role
yeah,
model on somebody.
having a role model is completely different than.
And I'm
comparing.
completely biased when it comes to some of the people that are idolized these days by kids, because I see some of these idiots that are out there just like glorifying this like bullshit.
That happens all the time.
I think it's bullshit, right? But
Yeah.
there's people out there that are general good people to model your life after.
Right.
And there's a difference between saying like, damn, I want to be like that guy someday, and like truly have the passion that they have. I mean, you see it in kids with like baseball players
Yeah.
and like any athlete. Like, you're like, damn,
Right.
you glorify these guys.
Yeah.
Granted, you're not gonna glorify some. They're still idiots in professional sports.
Yeah.
But it's the point is like you're not gonna put yourself on that level. But it's like one day you aspire to be that. It's a completely different thing than saying I'm gonna match this motherfucker, dollar for dollar, achievement for achievement. That's a completely different road to
Right.
be on.
Mhm.
Completely different road. And I think you have to know how to separate the two. I think that's big. I don't think people do that. I think they legit measure themselves up to this guy rather than saying, oh, that guy seems happy. Like, I enjoy doing X. He does X. I aspire to be on that level one day.
Right.
But take it your journey, not saying I'm going to do
Yes.
exactly what he did to get to. No, it's like, okay, well, I see that. I hope to one day be that successful in that.
And
It's
that's
'cause
also
the same
that's
thing.
also a part of having patience. Like just being
yeah.
patient
Yeah,
about
man.
stuff.
That's, there's very few people that get overnight success. I mean, like, it's got to be less than 1%.
Oh man, you could probably it's probably 0.000 however percentage.
The crazy thing is that once these people get big, like whoever they are, like
they're gonna
just
be
pop out
the
of
face.
They pop out of nowhere,
everywhere.
right? They pop out of nowhere, and everybody's like, "Damn, it happened like overnight." Like, no, but little do you know that these dudes have been working their ass off for probably 10 years prior.
Well, not only that, some people end up having overnight success just out of nowhere.
That's why I said it happens, but it's a very, very small percentage.
And here's the thing, people see that, and then people will fall into a trap where they see online, like, for instance, with fitness, like people say, like, lose 20 pounds in 30 days, get ripped six-pack abs, like, in a week or two, or
such a
special pill, special workout, special whatever it is, drink this and you'll lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks.
Dude.
Like, people think that that's how it's supposed to be because they see it everywhere. You don't see the long term, like, you don't see a guy freaking working 30 years and then finally getting the job. Like, it's such a rare occasion. Like, the media glorifies young people that make a lot of money and are successful overnight, and you see it everywhere.
Yeah, because
and not only that, it affects the way other people think about you. So they think, like, older people want you to feel or be in the same position as those people. Like, oh, well, you're not going to be like this person. You're not going to make it overnight. This and this and that. And, like, oh, well, it's been like 2 or 3 years. I mean, what are you doing now? That sort of thing. And then that could lead to burdening your dreams and your goals, as well as creating a sense of unhappiness for yourself.
I don't think you could have put that any better.
Yeah, it's true.
I think you could have put that
it's
any
so
better.
true, because it happens all the time. I mean, I've experienced that firsthand. Like it's funny how they expect things to happen so quick when it comes to things like this, but on the flip side, like, you can be working at a company for 20, 30, 40 years and only get like a, small pay raise, and then, like, that's what successful is.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, and
being happy is. You know what I mean?
I think that it's measured to our generation more because we're just idiots.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say we're all idiots, but a good majority of us are looking for the shortcut. So, especially when you said about fitness, like,
lots of people are looking for shortcuts.
America itself is looking for the easiest
shortcut
to possibly make it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, dude, like, it comes down to seriousness. Like, if you want something, you're gonna have to, like, bleed for it, bro.
And then when people believe that it should be short-term success, and they don't obtain it in that time, they'll get unhappy.
No, I think that's real. Like, everyone's looking for the shortest fast. That's why you see all these scam companies coming up. Oh, we'll get you'll be promoted X, and people are like, oh, okay, I'll get paid.
I got a certain amount of subscribers in a month, or I got 1 million likes.
Or all the spam that comes on your Instagram. You looking to get 500,000 followers, and, like,
just all that sort of stuff.
Like, that's such a shortcut. Like, just like anything worth having is gonna fucking hurt to have. Anything worth having is gonna take hard work.
Yeah, it's gonna take a long time to take. I believe that as well.
And if you get it too fast, is when you should be worried.
Yeah.
Like, damn, like, it's
because
just like,
because as fast as you obtained all that fame, success, and all sorts of stuff, it could even happen if the same thing can happen with you failing. Basically.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, you need to take the time to learn and to grow,
mm-hmm.
and it will come if you put in the work.
I also think, like, even if it does take a longer amounts of time, like, it builds wisdom.
Yeah,
and patience.
You've seen a lot. You failed. It's gonna be like this, but, like, you've always rise.
And that emotional part of your life, experiencing those things, mm-hmm. will make you take a step back and realize, like, holy crap, like, it takes a lot to become where you are today or what you're doing today, and you have a lot of respect for people. Right?
Yeah.
So you tend to respect people more, and you tend to become happier because you understand.
The key is, like, if you go through these highs and these lows, and you
mm-hmm.
and you see, and you, like, one day you look back, like, damn, I've overcome all this shit. You respect yourself.
Right.
A lot of people don't respect themselves. So
having
self-love, man. Like, if you don't stop and, like, and I have a problem doing this myself, because, like, I've done a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I had the conversation with my mom the other day. Yeah. And, like, I sit and I'm like, I don't, and this is something for me. I don't feel like I've accomplished anything yet.
Yeah.
Because nothing's been, like, extremely hard. Right. So it's like, and that's something that, like, you have to sometimes stop and say, damn, like, I overcame all this stuff, and, like, you can, like, give yourself some sense of confidence, like, damn,
mm-hmm.
I did this. So, like, when something hard comes up, it's not that bad. It's like, well, I've done something harder than this before, and you can attack it differently.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, self-love is happiness, bro. If you don't love yourself, then you're not gonna be happy.
Right.
No way you're gonna be happy.
Oh man, that's a big one. Yeah, I think it does start with yourself.
Yeah,
It starts with yourself.
Everything, dude. And it like how
At
I
the
like how we
forefront of
started this
everything.
podcast, like the idea of mindset.
Yeah.
Because everything we talk about
Always goes back.
goes right back to
Yep.
your head.
And that's why we did that as our first episode.
Yeah.
So
That's
for
why-
people that don't know and are just tuning into these most recent episodes, our first episode was based off of mindset. And we chose that topic for a reason. And it applies to all of these sorts of topics, because if you don't have the mindset, and if you don't have the self-respect and the self-love, you can't create the happiness, which is the main premise of this topic, of this particular podcast. But on the flip side, it'll also not be able to snowball to other things that you're trying to succeed in,
Yeah.
or trying to fulfill, or consistencies that you're trying to maintain, or any of those sorts of things. Like all that happiness is going to start off with your mindset and your self-love and your self-respect.
Right.
And
No,
that's-
absolutely.
And that's the premise of everything, you know.
Mhm.
And even for me being only 24 years of age, like, I'm still trying to understand that. I'm still trying to learn that. I'm still trying to come to terms with who I am and what I want to do. And
Process, man.
it's a process, and it's okay to try and go different avenues of different things and try different things throughout your life, and figuring out what makes you happy in the long run. Because hell, I mean, we could totally do this right now, and then, hey, 2-3 months later, you can feel like crap, and you're just not happy with yourself. You don't like where it's going, and that's okay. It's okay to change, and it's okay to do what you feel like is going to be what's best for you, and that's okay. That's fine.
Absolutely, I think.
But you also have to give yourself the opportunity to experience. Like, if you cut off so short and you're like, wow, I'm really not liking this. I'm just not.
That's
whatever.
That is self-awareness.
Yeah, you have to have
Because-
self-awareness, because if you only do something for a short amount of time and you're like, holy shit, this is not working, no one's watching me, and then you just give up, like, that's completely different than like, hey, I've tried this for like 3 or 4 years, I understand where
like-
I'm at.
That's like people who go 50-50 on something and they're like, it really didn't work, or somebody's gonna try something, it didn't work for me, but it's like, bro, you didn't even give a
100,
shit.
yeah, you
didn't
didn't give 100%. Yeah,
And it goes
that's
back to
another
negative
part of being self-aware of what you're doing.
Yeah, it's
who
like
you are.
and like people are gonna sit here and complain to you, like, I've had buddies that are like, especially when I was trying to be a Twitch streamer, and they're like, well, I'm better than you and I didn't do this. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't really fucking try.
Mhm.
You didn't even give like, real
Yeah.
effort.
Right.
How are you gonna sit here and tell me what works and what doesn't when you didn't even try yourself? Like, I
Mhm.
think that's a little shit. There's
Yeah.
a lot of people that are like that, or like they don't vision that as being real success. They're gonna sit here and say, that's stupid. Why are you gonna do that?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, that's just a part of not listening to
I
other
mean,
people and what they think about you.
That's something else. But I mean, like, it all coincides. So like, real question: Do you think that you're happy right now?
I consider myself generally happy. Yes. I would have to take a step back and kind of like that test that you were talking about earlier, where you kind of put everything in a blender. I kind of have to take a step back and see where I'm at right now, and determine what how happy I am based off that percentage. But overall, I do consider myself to be happy. Honestly, even during this quarantine and this shelter in place, I'm actually like probably the happiest I've been. And the reason because of that is because I'm doing things I enjoy. I'm working hard in things that I enjoy. I have much more time and freedom to do things. I'm on a set routine. I'm on a set schedule. I'm eating cleaner. I'm doing all these things that I've wanted to do for a long time, and I've been enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I guess at the forefront of that is, like I said before, I've been able to reduce my stress, but also have time. And I think time is really, really big for me.
Time, yeah.
And that's only for me personally, but I enjoy having time.
Yeah, I think, and like if I would ask myself the same question, I think I'm legit, as wild as it seems. It's not like we're just like two people living in this like fantasy world. Like, I legit think I'm the happiest I've ever been.
Why is that?
Because I just like I've put a lot of time, and like, of course 2018 and 2019 were pretty rough for me.
You're finally doing things that you want to do.
Right, and I took that. I took it away from myself, because I was listening to other people's opinions. I was
Right.
putting
That's exactly
my
what I
effort
mean.
other places that wasn't even me, and I haven't done that in a long fucking
Right.
time, bro.
You haven't
So, like,
done
I
stuff for you
stopped,
in
and
a
like
while.
I was like, I started reading books and like looking at things, like listening to other people talk, and like
Just researching
researching on like what the fuck do I
but
need to do?
you're still in the process of continuing to find
Yeah,
yourself.
it's never
And,
gonna stop.
yeah.
It's never gonna stop, and it's like, I just like I know something good's happening when like even when like, and I know I'm an extremist. Like, I wake up at 4:30, but like when I wake up at 4:30, I'm not tired. Like, I'm legit
You're
ready to go.
ready to take on
I'm
the
ready
day.
to go. Dude.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
I
excited.
wake up happy.
I'm the same exact way.
Yeah, like I wake up and I'm like, all right, it's like, as to like 2 months ago, maybe 3, or like, hell, you want to go back 6 months, 7 months, a year?
Mhm.
I'd wake up in the morning, look at the ceiling, and be like, fuck, I do not want to do this today.
Yep.
I don't want to get up.
And the only reason because of that is because you're doing something you
I just
don't
hated
enjoy.
it.
Yeah.
And I felt like there was no purpose. Now I'm saying
Yeah.
I wake up, I'm like, yeah, sure, maybe work's minimal because I'm working from home, but I'm like
You have a
running
plan.
and I'm eating better and I'm doing the podcast and I'm reading books and like there's just so much more happening.
Yeah.
That I've opened myself to, that like every day brings something.
You've opened
new.
up yourself to much more experiences.
Even in such a restricted time.
Yeah.
I'm happier because there's just so much shit to do.
Yeah.
Like I'm just in a better mood. Like I just found shit that I actually
Right.
liked.
Yeah.
And I think that's like super important for a lot of people because they're too busy with their minds in a shitter, thinking about all kinds of other shit. They're not really focusing on things that make them happy. And that's what I went about. Like when I thought about that test, was like that is the quickest tell.
Yeah.
To see what is really bringing you down.
Right.
And what you need to eliminate immediately to find true happiness.
Yeah.
So take that damn test. Think about it. Write that shit down.
Yeah, write it down.
And start crossing shit out that you need to eliminate from your life.
Yeah.
Because that is the first step to like truly becoming happy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Couldn't agree more. This time really gave me an opportunity to continue to figure out who I am and figure out what I like, what I enjoy, and put forth effort towards things I thoroughly enjoy doing.
Right.
And although obviously we've been limited on the amount of like communication we've had with people in person and that sort of thing, and being able to travel and do stuff and go out to eat or whatever, like I feel like I needed this time to really, really put forth a decent amount of effort towards things I thoroughly enjoy.
Yeah, man. And like I think what really helped me, man, is like the idea that I didn't want to be alone for the longest time, and I would avoid that idea, and the world was pretty much like, nah, you gotta be alone.
Yeah.
'Cause you can't go anywhere. People can't come over. You can't go see people. Like, I mean, of course, I see you and I see like my sister, but we've been in contact with the same people for like some amount of time. It's like we're okay, but it's like extension. Like I can't go see new people. I can't meet new people. Like you are forced to be alone with your thoughts, to find out who you are. I think that's done me the most good.
And I'll tell you this right now. So I just got this text. It popped up on my phone. It's from Ernest.
Yeah.
He says, good podcast, bro. I always find myself mentally replying to y'all like I'm there. I really enjoy it.
It's wild.
And so like it's things like this that I've been wanting to do for a long time. Like really appeal to people that are in our position, in our same age.
That's what we do.
Our same age, but our same position, our same mindset, everything. And this was the main reason. We started this thing, and I'm happy knowing that people are listening and enjoying what we're talking about and the content that we're talking about. That brings me happiness. Yeah. So I wanted to just touch on that. It's pretty awesome.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's
what we're doing.
I think a lot of stuff in both of our lives. I mean, we're kind of moving towards better in my eyes, but I think like a lot of stuff is shifting, man. Like,
and that's okay too, because like lots of things are shifting, but man, we've really got a lot of time. Yeah, we've got a lot of time.
You don't really think about that because you got people forcing you and telling you like, oh, you got to make X amount of money. This is due here. You got to be.
You got to be doing this. You got to like
do this, and it's
and we're also taught like, oh my God, life is short. Live it up. This and this and that. Like, yeah. I mean, like, life is short, but you can't take it literally. Yeah. You can't take that literally and be like, oh man, I got to go out to eat with my friends. Like, I could just die tomorrow. Like yes, that's entirely true. YOLO. But like, you're more likely to create a long-term plan and a long-term availability for yourself to basically put forth successful avenues for you to be successful long-term. Yeah. Be happier long-term.
Yeah, man. I think that's
because this is a long life.
I think anybody who knows me should know, man. It's like life is just gonna keep moving. I've done so much shit in the last about last year. It's unfucking real. I'm just trying to taste as much shit as possible because like, and I'm in no rush. It's the same with you. Like we're all doing different shit.
But I do also think like when it like on the flip side, I do think like, man, if I don't do this now, I will never have the opportunity to do it later.
I feel that absolutely.
So there are parts where I see like, hey man, like I've got to continue to be patient with things like this, and be patient with my life and where it's headed and that sort of thing. But on the flip side, like, I know that if I don't start now, it'll never get done. I won't really have the opportunity to do it. Right. And so this stay-at-home order, or whatever you want to call it, like I made this particular time the time where I was going to be like, I'm going to do this. Yeah. So for people that want to go out there and do those things and do things they really thoroughly enjoy, like
Now's the time. Yeah.
Like, I mean,
And we've said it thousands of times probably by now, but it's like now is really the time.
yeah,
Like, what
like,
else?
do something.
And like if you've waited, like,
even if the shelter in place isn't happening, like just start,
Yeah.
start. Just you gotta start.
yeah, because it's looking like it might end here pretty soon. But like I think I've made so many major changes that my life, even after this thing is lifted, I don't think it's gonna change much. I'm gonna keep living this way.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue to try to live my life the way I find enjoyment from it, and this
absolutely.
is a major part of that. So
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So I mean, however happiness is for you, and only you can. Like I'm talking to the viewers, obviously. I'm not talking to you.
yeah,
I mean, it's like however happiness is for you, like, and only you can answer that question.
mm-hmm.
Like we
It's
can't
very
sit here and tell you
subjective.
you have to be happy here, 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 and do this. That's impossible because that might not be happiness for you, but it could be for us.
Yeah, you
Like-
could totally work a 9-to-5 job every single day and be
fucking
in an
happy
office
as
and be
hell.
happy.
Work 9 to 5, come home,
Deliver
and spend 3
pizzas.
hours with your kids, like
It's totally
be
subjective.
with your wife, and then start over again. Like if that's what you aim for, dude, hey, fuck, man, do it.
That's the whole idea. That's
do it, man.
you're
Yeah,
not
delivering
meant to
pizzas.
be living.
There was a
certain
guy that
lifestyle.
was on that Gary Vee show. Did you see that post?
Yeah, I saw the
delivers
post.
fucking
I saw
pizza, bro, and he's the happiest.
And
Fuck yeah, bro, that's it. You
Yeah.
made it.
that's it.
That's what I mean. I and that's kind of like I
And he praises the fact that the money isn't the source of the
no,
happiness.
bro. It's like
Even,
you do
like,
what you want.
Gary Vee himself says that. Like
Hell yeah. And people just I know we're kind of like going over, but it's like people associate, and I think that's BS, because like if you actually go back and look at all of his content, people probably see his content now and they're like, it's easy to say it's not about the money when you have a lot of money.
mm-hmm.
But he's been saying it ain't about the money for fucking years, bro. I mean, like before he was even I went back and like, because you can see all the people that talk shit about him, like, oh, he's all full of shit because he has a lot of money. It's like, but he's been saying that shit since like before people even knew who the fuck he was.
Yeah. And even not being a very wealthy person,
Yeah, both of us are
now,
telling you, yeah, we're both. I mean,
I consider myself to be genuinely happy.
Yeah, and I'm
because I'm doing what I
don't
want
have
to
a
do.
whole lot of money. Like I'm just chilling, man. I'm just doing it.
Yep.
Like that's all that matters.
And I think as you continue to do that, like the money will come. It will come.
Even if it doesn't
And I
come,
believe in
like
that.
you're sitting here living happy, like build on that.
But like money enough to like support your life,
What
your
you want,
lifestyle,
yeah.
and what you want.
Yeah, okay,
will
that
come.
makes sense. Yeah,
That's what I mean. Not
Yeah.
like millions upon millions of dollars, but and if it does come that way, then that's fine too. But like I'm just saying, like if you continue to do things you enjoy, and I thoroughly truly believe, and other people that are way more successful than I am in terms of their finances attest to this as well. They say that, you know, I just been doing what I enjoy. I've been doing what I wanted to do, and the money has came. So
absolutely.
I truly believe in that. So
Yeah, man.
just continue to do you.
Yeah,
I mean, and
Shit.
don't be afraid to start.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Feel that. All right.
Appreciate the conversation, guys. Again, every Tuesday and Thursdays, we'll be posting videos. This is going to be episode number 7. So, how to measure happiness. We really appreciate y'all for tuning in. We've been loving the feedback.
Yeah.
I've
Please.
just been getting texts left and right,
Yeah.
surprisingly enough, which we really enjoy. So appreciate the feedback. Keep that coming. Comment below. Let us know your thoughts. Subscribe, like,
Yeah.
give us a follow on social media
Yeah.
at the Common Ground Podcast.
If you have topics you want us to talk about, like ask our opinion,
Yes.
like we'll definitely put that in.
Yeah, like I mean, some of these topics are just kind of thought of.
Just
Hell,
that
a
you
couple
come
days
over and
before.
we're just like, oh, let's just talk. What about
Well, we
this?
see something and it's just like boom.
Yeah,
Like,
or like sometimes
this
we
makes
just
for a
start
good topic.
talking and just like, oh, we should talk about that. It's a
Yeah.
good idea. Yeah. It's just, so if you have a topic that you think is interesting, you want us to talk about, by all means,
By all means,
hit us
let
up.
us know, and we're gonna see if we can try to add some more mics in here soon. Get some guests
Yeah.
in here, speak about their lives and their stuff. Not the mellow, maybe the mellow. Maybe we can get Marshmallow to come on here.
Yeah. Right.
We'll just be sitting here,
He doesn't
not
speak,
saying
guy.
anything. Yeah. All right, guys, we appreciate it.
All right,
Y'all have a
yeah.
good one.
Yep.